Huh?
Not only Lord Shiva, Narayana also.
All both.
Both are there.
Shiva, Narayana, both. Huh?
In fact, Shankar Narayana Lords, there is a temple, very famous ancient temple in Tamil Nadu for Shankar Narayana, where Shiva and Vishnu are together.
Rare,
One-
maybe
one-
rare.
Yeah,
Not
that
one
that
side.
that
We have-
deity is called Shankar Narayana.
We have to see other side also.
That side also.
Murti.
So why fight? Settle it.
But I have a short note which I'll just hand up to you in a minute. Your Lordship mentioned earlier that you've gone through
Short note.
the issue. Broadly state what.
Short note. Fine. Short note.
No, I will hand it up. I'm
Oh.
just getting copies.
But you are-
I will hand it up. This petition is on behalf of 1,301 individuals. These are individuals in the state of Jharkhand who are all Jharkhand Tet qualified candidates. Now, this question, which is at the heart of this case, is simply this. Is it enough for candidates who are available and who are properly eligible and qualified with the Jharkhand Tet qualification, who are sufficient in number to fill up the posts, to actually be available and to be considered for filling up the posts? Or is there a necessity for the government to go further afield and get those who are not Jharkhand Tet qualified, but who are qualified in TETs which are conducted either by other states or by the central CTET as it is called? The background of this case effectively is that some individuals who are not Jharkhand Tet qualified individuals moved the High Court in a writ petition. And they said Jharkhand has not conducted the TET for the last 3 years or so. So our opportunity to become eligible has been deprived to us. A concession is made by the government. We are not parties there. Concession is made by the government.
You were not there before the High Court.
No, we were not.
Who are you?
We were all eligible and qualified and sitting at home. So we were not invited, we were not parties. The people who moved the High Court were those who did not have the Jharkhand Tet qualification. They said, please conduct the exam. So
Invited means you were applicant somewhere or something?
we filed a challenge thereafter.
Mr. Sankara?
Yes. Yes.
Advertisement was issued.
Yes.
Advertisement prescribes some qualification.
Yes.
That qualification indicate this.
Yes.
As per that qualification,
Yes.
we have to purchase this qualification.
That's correct.
We are the person who purchasing, participated in the process of selection.
We are not.
All
That's
right,
correct.
process of selection.
Yes.
In the meantime,
Yes.
these are the persons who work from Jharkhand who has not conducted TET.
Correct.
So they went to the High Court.
Yes.
Then while they went to High Court, they asked that because of the state has not conducted this examination, though we permitted,
Yes.
concession was given by the government. On the
Yes.
basis of the same, they were permitted to participate and court passed an order.
Correct.
Now being agreed, because you are going to be affected by the
Correct.
same, you came
Correct.
before this court.
We have filed this.
You
Yeah.
say like this.
That's. I'm sorry.
So please give
Every
that
day is a learning experience, Manoj. I'll improve myself.
learning experience.
For me.
In the Bihar case,
To
we
keep-
will be placing, but in the Bihar case, the state.
That one case may close now. We are seeing every day, this bunch is being attached now. Then we find something is different, something is different. Let us come somewhere.
So, if your lordships can just take up that first paper book, Manoj, in Parimal Kumar. Yes, Manoj, for the exams, yes. If your lordships are asking me about court, no. I come up.
You
with
were
first-
not there, that is mentioned in the.
Yes.
Right?
Huh.
But in the selection process means against the advertisement you had applied.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Come to the advertisement.
Yes, Manoj.
Come directly to the advertisement.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Copy.
it's
You are
in
the
the
first
IA
case,
for
no?
addition.
We are on the first case coming.
First case. So
419.
it's in the IA for additional documents,
Copy.
page 35.
Application permission to place the additional document.
Yes, Manoj. In that page 35, if your lordships will take. This is in 2023. When is the rich price? Triple 467.
Yes, please.
Your lordship sees this is the advertisement.
Yes. What is the requirement?
Qualification requirement.
Sir,
142 of yours.
This is Jharkhand Teachers Training Competitive Examination,
It's page 142, my lord.
page 35, not 35.
It starts at 35, I'm sorry. 35 at 142, it's very long.
142.
Yeah.
My paper book.
Page 142.
What you
Yeah,
have is the same.
same. Page 142. It's this minimum educational qualification starts at 138 at 142. If your lordship wishes, I can show from 138.
You
35,
type.
yes, 35 at 138, clause 5.
Hmm.
The scale of pay and minimum educational qualifications for the posts mentioned in clause 3 are as follows.
So the post is intermediate trained assistant teacher.
Yes, intermediate trained assistant teacher, classes 1 to 5. And the minimum educational qualification is the last column, my lords.
Yes,
If you just come to 142,
yes.
at the end, and so it's a conjunctive, and pass the teacher eligibility test. That's Jharkhand, JETT, conducted for classes 1 to 5 by the government of Jharkhand under the guidelines formulated by the NCTE.
Where is this?
Your
Where you are
lordship,
reading which page?
page 142 bottom.
142. And
And just
JT,
Jharkhand teachers eligibility test.
JTET.
Yes.
Is it right?
Yes.
JTET. Class 1 to by Government of Jharkhand under
Yes.
the guidelines formulated by the National
Okay.
Council for the Teachers.
For teacher education.
So
Yes.
meaning thereby this JTET is under the guidelines formulated by National Council of Teachers.
By the NCT. That's correct.
Right, yes.
Now, if I can pause here for a minute, I just want to take a minute to tell your lordships the statutory backdrop behind this. It starts with the RTE. Your lordships can just see the act for a minute because it's a mainstay of our
Where is that act?
the Right to Education Act. Right to Education.
Why go there? We have to see the rules and the qualification prescribed.
I'll explain why. Because of very well, I just want to show your lordship the entire backdrop of this. Starts with RT, goes to the NCT, which is nominated under the RT, the NCT's guidelines, and then these advertisements come. So I'm showing you the foundation behind the advertisement, and therefore the concession. This is the simple argument. The concession that they made before the High Court was legally impermissible just by reading this. That's our argument. That's the beginning and end of it. That's all. So I can show you the rest of the documents, etc., but unnecessarily I'll take time because this is the heart of our case. Just give a copy. If you have a copy.
I can give. Yeah, same thing.
Same.
You have two cups.
Section,
Section 23, my lord.
another setting, other set.
I can
One of-
You can take my. Put my.
All right.
अभी के लिए ये ले लो।
Yeah.
my lords.
Section 23.
Yes, 23(1). Now this is mandatory. It says qualification.
Just
So,
wait.
so sorry.
Twenty-three, qualification for appointment.
Qualifications for appointment and terms and conditions of service of teachers.
Hmm.
1. Any person possessing such minimum qualifications as laid down by an academic authority authorized by the central government by notification shall be eligible for appointment as a teacher. So, the minimum qualifications will be as laid down by an academic authority which will be designated by the central government. Nobody else. No state government has any power. It's only the central government which can nominate what that authority is. Right? No? Now, 2, for a minute. Where a state does not have adequate institutions offering courses or training in teacher education, so that requirement has to be fulfilled, or teachers possessing minimum qualifications as laid down under subsection 1 are not available in sufficient numbers. These are the 2 triggers. In either of those situations, the central government may, not the state, the central government may, if it deems necessary by notification, relax the minimum qualifications required for appointment as a teacher for such period not exceeding 5 years as may be specified in that notification. So the scheme is very clear, my lords, from 23.
What is this proviso?
The proviso reads that a teacher who at the commencement of this act does not possess such qualification
May acquire within 5 years.
shall acquire it within
What is the
5 years.
next proviso?
Further proviso that every teacher appointed or in position on 31st March 15, this was inserted later in 17, my lords, shall acquire such minimum qualifications within a period of 4 years from the date of commencement of the RTE Act. Now, the reason for the second proviso is that as for section 23(1), the first subsection, the authority had to be designated. That authority which was designated with a notification dated 31st March 2010. And you will find that at page 9 of the IA. Page 9. Actually, I'll just hand up this note so your lordships can. I have put it in my note as well. If your lordship just comes to page 2 of this note.
Let us see the notification.
Yes, I will. I'm just saying, I want to save your lordships the trouble of making notes because what I'm submitting is in page 2 with the page numbers. So
Notification is page number.
The only problem is if
page
you want
9
to,
of the additional document.
Mr. Shankaran, the only problem is if you want to add anything, there is no space.
On this.
We'll have to write on.
No, I agree. I'm just
You
saying,
should leave some space also for us to note down.
no, my lords, on page 2 there may be space. Just see page 2. Is there space? No.
All right, where
Sorry.
we have to look in.
I'm sorry.
Come.
So we have
I'm-
to note down.
I'm sorry about that.
The dates are there, that's all. Page number and date will get.
That same IA that your lordships took up just now to see the advertisement, page 9. Page 9 of that IA.
9 is in Hindi,
And the English bottom right
10.
side,
bottom.
page 9, bottom right side, small para on the right side, your lordship sees 31st March 2010 notification.
Hmm.
In exercise of the powers conferred by subsection 1 of section 23 of the RTE, the central government hereby authorizes NCTE as the academic authority to lay down the minimum qualifications for a person to be eligible for appointment as teacher. Right, Manoj? If you're
No,
not,
accordingly, this NCT has come into.
NCT is the singular authority and designated by the central government, keeping in terms of the act. The act, as your lordship saw in 23(2), provides that if either of those 2 triggers are satisfied, that you don't have enough institutions or not enough people, then the relaxation can be made for a state by the central government for a period of 5 years.
You deem necessary.
Yes. So one thing is clear that the authority by central government will decide the qualification, and any relaxation for any state will be done by the central government.
Site minimum qualification.
Minimum qualification. So the central government is the only authority that will decide that then. The state has no role to play. Now, just next page, page 10, my lords. page 10 is dated 23rd August 2010.
Yes, please.
Yes. This provides for the minimum qualifications. It's by the NCTE. This is page 10 of the same IA. At page 11, if your lordships will see, after dealing with minimum qualifications, classes 1 to 5, classes 6 to 8, just above serial number 2 at the bottom of the page, your lordship sees pass in the teacher eligibility test. B. My Lord Justice Bindal has it. Page 11, just above 2, in B, that second qualification, pass in the teacher eligibility test to be conducted by the appropriate government. Please mark appropriate government because that is defined in the Act. In section 2 of the Act, appropriate government is defined. In accordance with the guidelines framed by NCTE for this purpose. So, appropriate government, my lords, is in section 2A of the Act.
A,
2A of the Act.
where is that?
By Act, my lords.
It's right to children.
Yes, yes. Section 2, subsection A. Appropriate government means, one, in relation to a school established, owned or controlled by the central government or the administrator of the union territory having no legislature, the central government.
Not a-
Two is what is relevant. In relation to a school other than the school referred to in clause 1, established within the territory of this capital A, a state, the state government. So the appropriate government which will conduct this TET as required by the law will be Jharkhand. So reading this guideline at page 11, it's a mandatory requirement that they must pass the TET to be conducted by the state of Jharkhand, not any other TET. And this has to be in terms of the guidelines prescribed for that purpose. Oh, that's good. The guidelines your lordships may note is at page 222. In my note, it's the last line of page 2. Very last line of page 2. It's page 222 of the main SLP paper book. Page 222. It's dated 11th February 2011. If I can just read this. Just, my Lord Justice Bindal has it, page 222. This is by NCT to all the secretaries, commissioners of education of the state governments and the UTs. Page 222, my lords, annexure P1. Guidelines for conducting TET. It's sent to all the state governments. Sir, madam, in accordance with 23(1), we did notification dated 23rd August. NCTE has been laid down minimum qualifications, etc. It has been inter alia provided that one of the essential qualifications for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in any of the schools referred to in clause N of section 2 is that she should pass the TET, which will be conducted by the appropriate government in accordance with the guidelines. In this regard, please find enclosed the guidelines. The eligibility requirement, my lords, is at page 223. Next page. Para 5. If I can just read in 5, small Roman 3. The following person shall be eligible for appearing in the TET. Small Roman 3. The eligibility condition for appearing in TET may be relaxed in respect of a state UT which has been granted relaxation under subsection 2 of 23 of the RTA.
This is not clause three.
I'm sorry?
Clause three.
5 small Roman 3.
Five.
5 small Roman 3. I'm so sorry. Eligibility, page 223. Last line of that page, that small Roman 3. So,
For appearance in the TET test.
yes. So it says eligibility condition for appearing in TET may be relaxed in respect of a state or UT which has been granted relaxation under 23.2. So for 23.2, as I showed your lordships under the Act, that's the only place that the relaxation can be granted by the central government. Yeah.
This is only for appearance in that test which makes you eligible for appointment.
That's correct.
So how
That's
this will relate here?
It won't. I'm saying it won't. I'm saying that if they were to try and argue that a relaxation is possible, the only relaxation, even as per the guidelines, is limited
This
to.
is not a relaxation for appointment as a teacher.
I'm grateful. That helps my case because as per the parliamentary law in section 23.2, the only relaxations that is possible to the NCTE's mandate is if the state government writes to the NCTE and says, look, I don't have enough institutions or I don't have enough qualified TET candidates in my state. Neither is the situation in Jharkhand. When they write like that, NCTE has to write back saying, very well, for your Jharkhand, we will relax it. And for 5 years, we will relax that condition. Nothing of this sort has ever taken place. If nothing of this sort has ever taken place, relaxation is not possible. That's our argument. So you can't stand up in an inter se writ among yourselves and tell the court, look, we will consider, we will concede, we will allow other people with texts from outside to take part. That's our argument. I hope I'm making myself clear. The relaxation is mandatorily only by central government in these two triggers.
Come to then eligibility that.
Yes, sir.
Once the TET
Yes.
conducted for 1 to 5
Yes.
by the government of Jharkhand under the
Yeah.
guidelines for
I-
the institution. So along with the qualification,
Yes.
passing of JTET is
Mandate.
essential,
Mandate.
is essential qualification.
Essential qualification.
Once it is an essential,
Yes.
so you're saying is
Yes.
JTET, which is required to be conducted for class 1 to 5 by the
Yeah.
government of Jharkhand, formulated by National Council. So JTET,
Yes.
if you passed out,
Yes.
that should be as per the procedure prescribed
Yes.
for appearing to that and
Yes.
passing it.
Correct.
And
How many of us?
that can only be
How many?
as per the relaxation. And that relaxation is by the central government.
Yes. Now, in the JTET. So for each state, Kerala is called KTET, Rajasthan is the Rtet. So they put the state's prefix before each of these. So central is Ctet. So I mean, Karnataka, Kerala, there may be a difficulty, but this is how it is across the country. Now, once the Jtet exam has been, you have enough candidates because more than 1 lakh of us have taken the Jtet and we have qualified the Jtet. So we are there. We're all available. This advertisement is for 26,000 posts, of which only 13,132 are available for us because of a reservation. Now that 13,132 is what we are eligible
This
for.
qualification is required by everyone. It's not that for reserved category, this is not required.
No, it's for service.
Everybody will have to
And for it is required, is a basic qualification required.
Para teachers are different.
Who are working as para teachers. So that's separate. That's what this, for this 13,000, everybody requires. Everybody requires it. There's no
What is the
relaxation.
meaning of this 13,000?
That's the 50% of the posts advertised is 13,132. Of the remaining 50% is for para teachers. Who are already working in the state government, but for all them also, for
TET
them
may
also,
be required
they
for
would-
that only.
they would
It's
require
reservation of post for that category.
they would require that. But these people are already working as
That's what-
teachers. We are not. So for the remaining 13,000, we are candidates who are available and eligible. So there was no reason for those who are coming later, who have not sat for the exam when we sat for it, or who have not cleared it when we sat for it, saying that you have not,
In
sorry,
which year you had passed out?
2016.
16.
All of us 2016.
And this qualifying JTET
Yes, ma'am.
from the state of Jharkhand,
Yes.
this will be perfectly right for how many years?
It's supposed to be
Forever.
forever. Once you
Forever.
qualify it, you qualify. It's like getting a B.Ed or any other kind of.
So you can,
Yes,
that you can appear then thereafter.
yes, you can appear there.
So now you come to the advertisement and when exam took place, then what facts of the case?
Can I just trouble you because there are a couple of arguments against us, which I must show your lordships also. So that guidelines I was showing you from the first paper book, page 226, my lords, I had read that. If your lordships can just see page
226.
226.
Third page 223.
223. Now, if your lordships can come to page 226.
Applicability.
Yes. This is clause 10, applicability at the bottom of 226. A says Tet conducted by central government shall apply to all schools referred to in 2A1.
This is pan India, it is happening.
Pan India. That's a CTET. Therefore, the CTET can't apply to schools, conversely, which are not covered by 2A1. Second, B. Tet conducted by state government UT with legislature shall apply to 1. A school of the state government or UT with legislature and local authority referred to and so on. So that's what we are relying on. That's what it will apply to. Now, just see just after that, a school at 1 and 2 may also consider eligibility of a candidate who has obtained Tet certificate awarded by another state or UT with a legislature. In case a state government UT with legislature decides not to conduct a Tet, a school at 1 and 2 in that state or UT would consider the Tet conducted by the central government. So this is in a scenario where the state itself is not going to conduct the exam and says so. That is not the state's position today. The state has conducted one exam which we have taken.
The clauses are
Yes,
CET conducted by a state UT with legislature
yes,
shall apply to.
yes.
School of the state government, UT with legislature and local authority. That means other states' qualification is valid. If the legislature and all that is there,
Yes,
valid.
it says a school at 1 and 2, a
So
school
that
at-
is subsequent. Prior to that,
prior to that, a school of
the
the state government.
legislature,
Yes,
state A legislature, state B legislature.
yes.
So qualification in state A is valid in state B.
No,
What is the meaning of this?
no, if
No,
your
want to
your lordship
understand
look at 10B, 10B1,
B1.
10B1.
the
I know, 10B1. It
Please
says,
kindly, Mr. Sankarnath.
yes,
TET conducted by
by
the
state government or
UT.
by a UT with the legislature
Like Delhi is.
shall apply to a school of the state government or UT with legislature and local authority referred to in subclause 1 of clause N of section 2 of the
This may
RTA.
not be relevant here because this is only local authority defined.
Yes,
So that means any qualification from state with legislature or UT with legislature is applicable to all. State
within
with
that state,
legislature.
within that state. For the government schools in that state. 2 and 1.
First one is central government. Second one is state government for the state government run schools. If you, lordship should see the definition of.
So just a minute, let him complete, otherwise we'll not understand.
2
Go ahead
and
to whatever.
2N1, which defines a school.
2 and 1 is only for local authority.
No,
2 and
no,
1 is something different.
2N1 is definition of school. So 2N1 says, if I can read that, school means any recognized school imparting elementary education and includes 1, a school established, owned or controlled by the appropriate government or a local authority. So all this assistant teacher recruitment that's happening, which is happening by the government, is for its own schools, which are covered by 2N1. Which could be owned by the state or by a local authority, but 2N1 is what we are looking at, not private school.
What is the meaning of this clause? If it is applicable in the state, same state, then there was no need for having this clause. Right? And
No,
if you read this
no.
with the first clause that the central government CTET is applicable pan-India,
Yes,
then the meaning of this we prima facie understand is that any test conducted by a state with legislature or a UT with legislature is applicable in the state with legislature and UT with legislature.
correct.
It is equivalent.
So I'll just explain if I
This
may.
is what we understand.
Yes, I understand. So
School
if
they
I
have
break up,
fine, no problem.
the way I understand this, Manoj, is this. 10 is in 3 parts. Now the first part,
Right,
which is
first part meaning we have.
yes, no, but I'm
different
saying
meaning for different
the
meaning.
way I understand this is a division of applicability based on territory. That's the way I see it. 10A is dealing with 2A1, which is the central government institution.
How
So
can you
it-
say B is not talking about central government? It is state only. Central
Because-
is one, A.
2A1 and 2N1 are two completely different things. 2A1, if you just see 2A1,
Central government is 10A only.
yes,
10A. B is not talking about central government.
no, it's not. That's why.
So what is the import of 10B only? You just tell us that.
Just 10B. 10B is that if a state or a UT with the legislature, which is the appropriate government, makes here a TET exam is conducted by that state's TET would apply to all the government schools
this is
or
not-
local authority schools of that state.
From where you are taking that state? That state for that no provision was required.
No, I'm taking this only because this
No
is,
provision was required for
I'm
that.
responding to your lordship's suggestion because these are guidelines.
Right, so for that, no provision is required. That they had to issue guidelines for that purpose.
But very often in guidelines, they try to be as exhaustive as
No,
possible.
Not required at all.
So maybe it's superfluous, but
If
this is the only, let me
nothing
just
is
respond.
superfluous any-
No, there is a reason. The only interpretation which I'm giving is the one which is consistent with the act. If any other interpretation is taken, it renders section 23 nugatory. That it can't do. Your lordship
That
sees
is a
section 20.
separate argument altogether.
No, I'm
Suppose
saying
we take
that
it-
is why the interpretation has to be.
Gopal, sir, we
Yes.
take it in a different.
Yes,
If we apply 10A,
yes,
10A is applicable to subclause 1 and clause A of subsection 2.
correct.
We have no concern.
Yes,
10A goes out.
correct.
Come to 10B.
Yes,
Suppose we go to 10B,
yes,
then it says conducted by a state government, public duty
yes,
with legislature shall apply.
yes,
All right. So now what we have to look into, TET conducted by the state government
yes,
or by the UT
yes,
with legislature,
yes.
it will apply to whom? Now come. A school of the
The-
state government or
Of the, I'm sorry, but
of
I'm
the
saying
state
the,
government,
if you just compare this with the above sentence, which says a state government, TET conducted by a state government shall apply to a school of the state government. So whichever state government conducts that, it is to them that it will apply. Otherwise, they don't have to do A and the separately. They would say A or any state government. They haven't used A, they haven't used any.
all right, fine.
Yes,
So, but it is also using the local authority referred to in subclause 1,
yes,
clause N or so and so. 2
Yes.
and N, if we see that
yes.
2 and
One, yes. A school,
2 and 1 is
established.
established, owned and controlled by the appropriate government or a local authority.
Yes,
All right,
yes,
appropriate government or local authority.
yes,
So here, the state government means it indicates the schools of the state government. And local authority means if we see this affiliation,
yes,
then or local authority.
yes.
So it falls within that. So it is in
Yes.
for one.
Yes, local authority is defined, my lords, in H.
In H it
Oh,
is
yeah.
defined.
Yes,
All right.
Yes.
It is not at all relevant.
no, it's,
Now to come to B.
yes,
A school referred to subclause B,
yes,
subclause 2, clause N.
yes,
2 is added school receiving grant in aid meets
Yes.
so and so as expenses of so and so
yes,
to a RTE Act of the so and so.
yes. So government school or an
In
aided
that
school?
state.
Yes.
So now what do you want to say now?
So what I want to say is this, Manoj, that two things emanate from guideline number 10. Two things. The first, that a central TET will apply only to the schools of the central government under 2(1)(a). Second, that as far as state governments are concerned, when they conduct a TET, it applies to all the government schools and the aided schools within that state. That's why it uses the word the state.
If you are asking is,
Yes.
where from you are reading within that state?
From the words, I'll just TET conducted by a state government shall apply to a school of the state government. So it is of that state government.
You
Yes.
are giving this because
Yes.
they may come with an argument. What
Yes.
may be their argument?
No, their argument is based on the sentence after that, after the 1 and 2,
Yes.
that a school at 1 and 2 may also consider eligibility of a candidate who has obtained Tet certificate awarded by another state or UT with legislature. So that is what their argument is based on. That because of this guideline, we are entitled, therefore, to permit those who are called.
Just
Yes. It's not continuous. Yeah.
yes.
And the next line after that, in case a state government UT with legislature decides not to conduct a TAT, a school at 1 and 2 in that state UT would consider the TET conducted by the central government.
Hmm.
So this is what is being relied upon by them to argue that we are entitled, therefore, to allow as a qualification a non-Jharkhand TET or a CTET. This is their argument. So now, the problem with that argument of theirs appears to be that it would require a twisting of section 23, which it is our submission is impermissible. I want your lordships to also see the rules under the RTE, which provide for how relaxation can be granted. This is completely yes. This first sentence is what the High Court has relied on, Malon. So your lordship may mark that. That a school at 1 and 2 may also
You are
consider.
not disputing this situation. This NCT can issue a guideline.
We are not disputing that.
Not disputing.
Not disputing.
This guideline they have issued.
Yes.
While issuing this guideline, they
Yes.
have given one relaxation there.
Yes.
They have given this relaxation
Yes.
on which they are relying upon.
Yes.
And this is a relaxation. A school at 1 and 2
Yes.
may also consider eligibility of a candidate who has obtained TET certificate awarded by another state or UT with legislature.
Yes.
In case a state government UT with legislature decides not to conduct TET, a school at 1 and 2 in the state or UT would consider TET conducted by central government.
Second doesn't control.
So this is for central government and first is for the other states.
Yes.
So they have from other states,
Yes.
they have been permitted
Yes.
under this clause.
Yes.
So suppose then who would permit it? A school at 1 and 2.
Yes. The school
So-
itself.
So,
Yes.
so that can be permitted.
But that requires this procedure to be followed. That's what I'm showing your lordships. If you see the RTE rules made with reference to section 23, I'll just show your lordship. It's in the Bare Act itself. If your lordship takes a look.
Rule. Which rule?
Rule 38.
Yes. No, 38.
Sorry, 17. Rule 17. I'm sorry. Rule 17.
Minimum qualifications.
Rule 17 and 18, Manoj. 17 says the central government shall within 1 month notify an academic authority for laying down minimum qualifications. So that's been done. Now at 18, relaxation of minimum qualifications. The state government and the union territory shall, within 6 months from the commencement of the act, estimate teacher requirement as per norms in the schedule for all schools referred to in 2N. 2. Where a state government or a UT does not have adequate institutions offering courses or training in teacher education, or persons possessing minimum qualifications as notified in Subrule 2 of Rule 17 are not available in sufficient numbers in relation to the requirement of teachers estimated under Subrule 1, the state government or the union territory shall request, their only job is requesting, within 1 year of the commencement of the act, the central government for relaxation of the prescribed minimum qualification. 3, on receipt of the request referred to in sub-rule 2,
Provision is made at the commencement of the act because initially there was no institution, nothing.
that is correct. That is
It's
correct.
not for subsequent period.
If that is so, then section 23(2).
That we will examine that your argument.
No, yes. No. So if my argument would be that while this is at the commencement, it would also apply in every situation where at some point either you don't have enough TET qualified candidates, you can't leave the children without any teachers. So then you need a relaxation for your state. So then you will write to them and say, please relax, I don't have enough TET qualified candidates. Or in a situation where, for example, some institutions are shut down, maybe because of Naxalism or anything else, and then you may be in such a situation. So if we were to read it that strictly to say that it's only within 1 year, then you're leaving the states without any other alternative but to conjure up band-aid options.
Leave aside, we are
Yes,
direct questions. on
yes, Manoj.
the petitioners who were before the writ court.
Yes.
What was their relief before the High Court?
I'll just show.
What they were asking the relief before the High Court?
Their prayers are at page 292 to 292, sorry,
89.
289 onwards. There are 4 prayers and I'll read them. A, why no steps were taken?
Just wait,
Yes.
just wait.
289 of the SL. 289 bottom.
For showing for the respondent, why the steps are not being taken to conduct
Yes,
the
To
TET.
conduct the TET since 2016 in spite of regular demands and protests, etc., etc. Then the second prayer, Manoj, is at 292. How they will redress the aspirations of a large number of candidates available who have acquired all other requisite qualifications other than TET.
Prayer C.
Then prayer C, I'm reading all of them. Prayer C, for directing respondent 2 to either conduct TET in the light of Jharkhand test, etc., which mandates the state authorities to conduct the TET every year, or to consider Ctet qualified candidates worthy for participating in the selection process of the teachers in the state. So there was an alternate prayer saying either you conduct it or allow Ctet eligibility.
So these are the Ctet persons.
Yes,
Ctet persons.
correct. They don't have a Jtet. So they have a Ctet which permits them to apply for teacher positions in all central government institutions. So they have that. They therefore are asking for Jtet equivalence as well. We don't have the Ctet option. We have only our Jharkhand option. These are the prayers, Manoj. Now, when this comes up before the High Court, at page 9 is where the judgment starts.
It's stand.
And it's mentioned, yeah, this supplementary. If I can just see para 2, which is at the bottom of page 9, bottom of page 9. The matter was heard by us, and in course of hearing on 25th July, our attention was drawn to clause 10 of the guidelines conducting TET, what I just read to your lordship.
So meaning whereby we see
Yes,
then this guideline applicability,
yes,
then the later part of this B,
yes,
later part of this B,
yes, later part of this B.
in case the state government UT with legislature decides
Not to conduct
not
the
to
TET.
conduct a TET,
A school at 1 and 2 would consider the TET conducted by the central government. So the prayer is only about Ctet.
a school of 1 and 2 in the
Yes.
state, in that state would consider the TET.
Correct. So clearly for this to apply, the state needs to take a stand that we are not going to conduct TET. Once the state says we won't conduct the TET, then obviously it's very fair for them to get the Ctet qualified candidates and ask them also to take part. State has not taken such a stand. That's not the state stand even today. On the contrary, the state has in its counter affidavit said that we will be conducting the TET. They are conducting the TET.
Anyway,
Anyway.
now come to the
Yes, ma'am. Now, if you just see
para
para 4,
4,
this is the stand that they've taken. I just want-
supplementary counter affidavit.
Yes,
has been
supplementary
filed.
counter affidavit. Just see extracted para 8 there.
Yes.
That it is stated and submitted that state of Jharkhand is intending to implement Jtet objectives in consonance with the geographical and regional needs, requirements such as various languages, tribal languages, culture and Hindi language speaking population within the state of Jharkhand. This is their evidence stand. So therefore, that guideline 10 won't kick in because they will conduct the exam and they will keep in mind culture, language, tribals, etc., etc. Now, para 6.
Yes.
Para 6. However, in course of hearing of these writ petitions today, learned Advocate General appearing for the state would submit that he has received oral instructions that the state is willing to relax the criteria for eligibility as far as the candidates having Ctet examination certificate, with the stipulation that in a future date they have to clear the state Tet examination and those persons should be the residents of Jharkhand. This is what we are aggrieved by because we don't believe the state could possibly relax. The state did not have this authority. The only exception is if the state took a decision saying we are not going to conduct the TET. The supplementary counter evidence makes it clear that they will. If I can continue. Since the law provides that every year there should be a TET examination, and for the last so many years there has been no examination for testing the eligibility of aspirants to be appointed as teachers, we are of the opinion that not only those candidates who have Ctet certificate and residents of Jharkhand, but also those residents of Jharkhand having other qualification and having state TET examination certificate of any of the neighboring states shall also be given a chance to
So
appear in.
they have taken both clauses
Yes,
of that applicability.
correct. When it was not even a prayer.
Hmm.
Your lordship would notice the prayer was for Ctet in the alternative, not for any other state's qualification. They have widened it. Having other qualification and having state TET examination certificate of any of the neighboring states should also be given a chance to appear in the examination with certain stipulations which we propose laid down in the following paragraphs. In view of the proposal made by the learned AG and also having considered the matter to a great extent perhaps, we hereby dispose of the writ petitions and the PIL, directing the state government to conduct the TET examination every year henceforth.
That's all right, it's not the
That's so
eligibility.
correct. So para 8,
So
we further, sorry. So
whether the High Court has considered this clause?
they've
High
only
Court has
considered this.
in para 2. Para 2 it is considered.
The
Clause
guideline,
10.
the guideline clause. It's,
Considered.
that's
Matter was
one.
heard
Clause
by us.
10. Clause 10, nothing else.
Our attention was drawn by clause 10 to the guideline of PET.
Yes,
It has been by subclause B,
correct,
where the school referred subclause 1 and 2.
correct.
Eligibility of the candidate who have obtained the TET certificate awarded by another state or so and so. In case that is quoted and in
Correct. That's all quoted. That's
view of such position, we were of the opinion the state government is genuinely creating a number of posts
yes.
for which the state TET examination is required to be conducted.
So what they have
It has
not,
not been held for the last almost 9 years.
yes. No, but he's,
Last examination was held in 2016. Should
Yes.
not take into consideration the sort of provision. Therefore, they advised the Learned Council for the state
yes.
whether they intend to allow these candidates who have TET examination. Okay.
Now, this has to be, if your lordship just one, if your lordship just see now the directions at paras 8 and 9, these are where the errors creep in. Para
Yes.
8 is page 12. We further direct that those residents of the state of Jharkhand who are otherwise eligible to appear in the examination and hold a Ctet certificate or a certificate issued by neighboring states having resident of Jharkhand shall be allowed to appear in the ongoing process, which has already started, with a further stipulation that the state shall ensure that the examination, if not held within a year, is held at least within next 3 years. Now, this is itself self-contradictory. If you're holding the exam as per the guidelines, there can't be Ctet. It's only if you're not holding the exam that you can have a Ctet. And the candidates who have participated in the selection process and have been appointed have to clear that Ctet examination within a period of 3 years by giving one chance. They shall pass it within 3 years and in one first available chance. So this is the first direction. The second, we further stipulate that the state government shall not conduct the examination at least for next 3 months, so that the candidates should get some time to get ready.
It may not be that relevant.
It may not be. I mean, but all this was completely unnecessary when you have 1 lakh candidates who are eligible and available.
Where is that 1 lakh candidates are there?
It's admitted in their counter of the state, my lords.
Let us.
Just give me page number. Para. Page. Counter in the Supreme Court.
It was not there in the High Court.
There's a counter in the High Court,
where is that?
supplementary counter in the High Court.
Where is that?
Counter
Just
of
pleaded.
para page, no, what numbers, our numbers.
Supplementary.
in Supreme Court.
The numbers I understand are only in the Supreme Court counter affidavit.
Well, where is that? Where you
Yeah.
pleaded that?
That if you just see the Supreme Court counter,
No, where you have pleaded it.
we,
You have to show somewhere you are pleading.
we have come to the Supreme Court now, so,
In your pleading, it has to be there, then only the counter will come in.
no.
You have to state something.
We came for the first time in the Supreme Court, so it's only from Supreme Court pleadings I can show you.
What is the question is being come to you? is
Yes, Manoj.
In Supreme Court writ petition which you have filed,
Yeah, SLP, yes.
you must have asserted here that how many
Yes.
candidates have appeared.
Page
Therefore, adequate number of the candidates
Yes.
were available to participate.
Page,
Those possessing a TET from the,
Correct.
those are having the JTET.
page H, Manoj.
Page H.
H. Page H.
There is no reply given to the list of dates.
Where is the
Sorry, madam?
pleading?
Ground, you come to page 213.
No, so on that, if your lordships looks at the certificate that we annex at the end of every SLP, the certificate is an attestation by the advocate on record in these courts that the SLP synopsis, list of dates, all form one single composite. So when replies are filed, they're filed, but it's there in the grounds also. I'll show you both.
Mr. Shankar,
I'll show you both.
leave aside what certificates are given.
No, I'm
Don't
just
argue
telling-
that.
Yes.
We can show you hundreds of wrong, incorrect certificates.
Just see ground L in the SLP.
That I've told you, 213 page it is there.
Yes.
Now see the counter, let us see the counter.
States count terminal. Page 13, my lords, of the states counter. That's counter on behalf of respondents 1 to 5,
Page 13.
1, 3, para 8. In the peculiar facts and
Page
circumstances,
13.
page 13, yes, my lords, of their counter, para 8.
Yes.
In the peculiar facts and circumstances of the present case, wherein the regular Jtet could not be conducted in the past few years due to COVID pandemic and other contingencies, and on one hand, there are enough members of Jtet qualified candidates within the state, approximately 1 lakh. Whereas on the other hand, a large number of Ctet qualified candidates and residents of state of Jharkhand who are aspiring to participate in the process of appointment. So here also they admit there's about 1 lakh of us. And they say there are enough numbers. So they also believe there's satisfaction as far as quantity is concerned.
So now what is your argument finally?
So my arguments,
That,
your lordships can just pick up this note
yes.
that sums up what my arguments are after the list of dates, page 2. The first is that section 23 is mandatory. And those relaxations can only be by the central government following the procedure that's been provided.
4.2.
Yes, Manoj. 4.1 makes it clear that section 23 is mandatory. 4.2 talks about how relaxation can be only by the central government.
Hmm.
And as your lordships have seen, that guidelines itself provides that Ctet is only for central government schools, not for anything else.
Hmm.
The only thing in the guidelines which your lordships noticed is that they say if the state says we're not going to conduct the Tet, then the question may arise of you borrowing and using Ctet qualified candidates. But that trigger, even as per the guidelines, admittedly is not there, because as we have shown you from the counter, their stand is we are conducting the exam. And again, in this counter just now, the same paragraph, They have said that we will be conducting, we couldn't conduct it because of COVID and other circumstances.
Hmm.
So they have never taken a stand which fulfills that guideline 10 second part, which requires them to say that we will not conduct that, in which case, yes, Ctet can be borrowed. So that even we are not saying that you can't if you're not conducting the exam. We are saying since you have said that you are conducting the exam, then you have to strictly go by Jtet.
Basically, 23-2 compliance is your argument.
Yes, 23.2 along with the guideline itself, Manoj. Even if I
With guidelines, following the rules,
following throughout.
following the rules.
Yes. Now, there's one couple of additional points. If you see 4.3 and 4.4 at page 3, we've given the page references. Service importance of Tet cannot be overemphasized and has been accepted by the state. 4.3, Manoj, page 3. Service rules provide that Tet papers include tribal and regional languages.
Hmm.
Jharkhand, being a tribal state with 32 scheduled tribes, requires regional language as a medium of communication with students. Jharkhand also has the third lowest literacy rate in India. Further, the state itself has admitted before the High Court that Ctet does not fulfill the needs of the state to the state regional language and local needs. This is at page 302. The Lordship will find it at para 12. This is what they've said.
Hmm.
It's part of the supplementary counter that they filed in the High Court. Manoj.
Hmm.
It's main counter, main counter.
Sorry, it's main counter, Manoj, not supplementary, main counter, part of the main counter.
All right.
Yes. And the other ground is on prejudice, Manoj. I've mentioned that. And finally, in the directions, if your lordship notice, they don't say that certificates of Tet from any states. They say neighboring states. There's no rationale really behind any of this. They shouldn't have departed from what the requirements are, what the qualifications are when they admit that 1 lakh are available.
If relaxation is good, then that clause is good, that proviso. If it is bad, it is
It
bad.
is bad. I'm grateful. That's all.
I think maybe Hindi speaking, they may have thought of, we don't know, but
That's
neighboring state, maybe,
left to the local.
maybe.
But there's an account. There's a
Yes.
companion petition.
Yes, yes.
May it please,
That is all.
Yes,
Yes, madam.
may it please, madam. No, while you're on the counter filed by the state, which has been partly dealt with by the impugned order, Manoj, would your lordship kindly see just 2 paragraphs of the counter filed by the state, Manoj, which is very relevant, Manoj.
To counter file in this
Counter
before
file-
Supreme Court and High Court.
Yes, my lord. Please come to page number 323 of the same paper book which Mr. Gopal had referred to. 323. The reasons, because the High Court talks about 10, it doesn't talk about what the state itself was concerned about. Please come to para 18, page 323, Manoj.
Hmm.
That it is further stated that the central TET qualified candidate or a candidate qualifying TET by another state can only be considered for a state-run schools when particular state government has decided not to conduct its own TET. But it is most humbly stated that it is not the case that the state government had decided not to conduct the JTET, and in these circumstances, the state government is not bound to consider central TET or a candidate qualifying TET by another state or UT as eligible qualifications. That CTET qualified candidates can be made eligible in a given contingency where the state government is not conducting TET, but when this contingency does not exist, there is no occasion to make central TET candidates eligible or to allow those candidates who have obtained TET from central government or any other state UT. Lord, in this scenario,
So your contention is
yes,
that in the first counter affidavit filed before the High Court,
this is second counter, supplementary counter.
this supplementary counter.
Yes, this is supplementary.
Hmm.
Subsequent to, my lord, the first.
Then
counter and the
suppose
order
the
of the-
supplementary counter says this,
Yes,
then from where this concession has come?
this is oral, my lord. It is just the Advocate General says oral concession. There is nothing in writing. Number
All
one.
right, statement of Advocate General is.
Therefore, they've taken it. Number two, my lord, the entire writ petition, my lord, is allegedly it's called as a PIL. In service law, there is no PIL. In fact, all the petitioners are wanting to participate in this election. It's not a PIL in that sense. They're an unregistered association. We do not know how many members are there. They came before the High Court, my lord. The Honorable High Court ought to have at least seen all these provisions, which my learned friend was now striving to point out, my lord. what are the statutory sequence, what are the regulations to be applied, whether it can be relaxed at this point of time, whether the contentions of the petitioner only for the prayer that please conduct JET, which can be at a stretch, we are saying that in the upcoming selection, please consider me. Now, please note the point, the rules in existence on that date had only JTET. When they went to the writ court, there was no challenge to the rules in existence. They said the rules in existence when we participated in the advertisement said only JTET. There is no challenge to that. In that scenario, whether the High Court could have rewritten the rule or the advertisement, your lordships have held, my lord, you can't change the rules after the game has started. As simple as that. Whether the,
Where are the rules, Madam?
yes, my lord. So, my friend had pointed out 228.
234.
No, it started like that, no, but the relevant portion.
Paper,
Same paper.
228 at 234.
Yes. Two 40. Please come to 240 and also
34 is
240, also 242, yes, for primary. 240.
240.
Yeah, I'll first show 237, it starts. Thank you. But the peculiarity of the state is so much that they take so much into consideration, Lord. They belong to various tribes and therefore it's very important. The state had itself pointed out all those. 237, Lord. Para 3E, E is there, middle of the page.
So you are as 228.
Lord, which is
228.
Yes, Lord. It started at 228, Lord. Kindly come to 234, which will say qualification. Correct. Yes.
234.
Yes, well, we'll start with qualification. 234 will start with qualification.
Yes.
Please come to 237, Milord. Middle of the page. Yes, left side will be, Milord, intermediate teacher, education, what is that, all rules of mathematics, physics, etc. Coming to the 237 middle, 3E. Candidates will be eligible for appointment as assistant teacher in the same subject group in which they have
That's
passed.
right. Subject is all right. We have to see JET.
Yes, please come over the page,
That is
Milord.
page 248.
240, absolutely, Milord. I'm great.
What is that?
JTET.
One of the qualifications.
You must read this last part. This
Yes, Lord, why I wanted to read this 237 was the point which we were stressing that, Lord. Same subject in which they have passed the teacher eligibility test and after passing the teacher eligibility test in the regional language, tribal language notified for the district will be eligible for appointment in that particular district.
No, the advertisement is district wise.
Yes.
Yes.
Is advertisement district wise?
Post, sir, because suppose somebody has learned Santalia, then they will be posted in that district.
Let us see the advertisement.
Yes. Advertisement.
I will see, go back, please first complete this.
All right, I'll complete at 240, Milord. At 240, state
240.
clarify that. 240B and passed in JTET, the teacher eligibility test conducted for classes 1 to 5 and 6 to 8 by the government of Jharkhand under the guidelines formulated by NCTE. Yeah, correct. 240.
Now come to that advertisement.
42 also, it says 6 to 8 JTET. Yes,
It's not 6 to 8.
yes, both are not 1 to 5 and 6 to 8 are primary and upper primary. Please come to the advertisement.
Advertisement.
Yeah, just one more, 2 lines in that advertisement itself at 238 on top, Milord.
Not advertisement. This is
Sorry, on the rules itself, on top, Milord, just 2 lines,
238.
238. On top, first line, 238.
Yes.
It will be mandatory to have knowledge of local customs, language and environment. Yes.
They are basically, they say residents of Jharkhand only.
But Ctet is only English, Milord. They don't have all these languages.
That's a different thing.
Very well. No, that's very
But they have the
essential for a
knowledge of-
primary child. In fact, Devesh
They have
Sharma,
the
your
knowledge
lordship
of
have
all
dealt
this.
with this.
That's why they said residents of Jharkhand only.
Residence is fine, Lord, but they didn't pass, Lord. We had passed in 16, waiting for the past 8 years.
That's
And different local customs and languages and tribal. Yeah. Advertisement will be in the additional documents, not your lordships had seen it. There also at one, yeah, it is starting at 35, but relevant portion of qualification, 51.
51.
Hmm.
51.
Additional.
The same volume which your lordships were seeing earlier also.
51.
Additional
But 51 will show district-wise reserved post for non-para.
non-para, you are non-para.
Non-para, we are all non-para.
Even para is district.
Yes, everybody is district-wise only, but this is specially for non-para. Then come to 142.
So as per you, it is district wise, na?
Yes, my lord.
And then during,
After this,
after qualifying the test,
yes,
then at that time they may look into about
which
this.
district, which posting.
Accordingly,
Yes.
they may do it.
Yes, my lord, rank wise. 142, your lordship will find the same advertisement in pursuance of these rules, which contained JTET, your lordship saw it, my lord.
Page?
Page 142, your lordships had seen. When we-
JTET.
JTET.
The test class 1 to
Yes,
5 by
by
government of
the
Jharkhand.
government of Jharkhand is the advertisement also.
But in that test, they are taking test of all the languages and all that of the state.
Everything. This one, my lord. In this advertisement, they.
No, no, the
This
question is different.
Sorry.
In
JTET,
JTET, when he is appearing, the person is appearing in JTET.
Yes.
So when he appears in a JTET, then what is the curriculum? That are they taking the test of language wise and everything?
Particular language, they choose a language, particular tribal
will-
areas,
so he
language,
will
they
be
do local
eligible-
language, my lord.
So how
That
will
is why
be-
they get an extra, my lord,
How-
advantage.
how he will be eligible for appointment in another district?
He will not be, my lord. He will be chosen when he comes in the merit list according to his,
Suppose
And
he
in
comes
the
in the,
advertisement, some preference in the form have been prescribed?
my lord, the advertisement will show that, yes,
Any
the posts
preference?
are reserved for a particular tribe. This one.
In the rules,
Yes,
tribal and regional language, anyone
page 246 will show.
SLP.
SLP. The subjects are given at 246. Language is essential. List language, mother tongue and general knowledge, they are common, my lord.
where you are reading?
246 of the SLP, which
The
is the
rules.
rule as such, my lord. Your lordships will get that.
Rules are for appointment.
No, rules mention that every
Language.
person for this examination, what should be the subject matter is
What are the
written there.
marks?
Marks allotted for that.
Which-
Approved by Jharkhand Academic Council, so and so the format of examination will be as follows.
Yes, my lord.
Hmm.
That will be, serial number A will be subject is tribal and regional language, any one of the district-wise languages notified with a notification so and so,
There
so
are
and so.
32
of the
languages.
Yes,
There are 32.
there are 32. That question is 70 marks maximum. Then your lordship will come to B, any one of the mother tongue as per secondary examination. Then my lord C is general knowledge, current affairs, social science,
This
and
is
that's
the-
it, mathematics.
This is the test for this selection.
Yes.
We are asking for the syllabus for JTET.
Yes. Yes, my lord. This is assistant teacher.
Yes.
Yes.
No, the question which was put
Yes.
was that for the purpose of the JTET, then to appear for a JTET,
Yes.
is it district wise, language wise, regional language wise? some
We are
curriculum is
instructed to
prescribed?
say it is language wise. We don't have the ready reference of the rules here. Yeah, you
It's in
have
the
it.
states counter.
State counter. Sorry.
States counter in the Supreme Court at page 21 are the rules and the list of languages are at page 21 at 31
Yes.
of the counter of the state.
Yes.
Page 21, Manoj, is where it starts.
Sorry.
Yes, please.
This is the notification,
Yes, Manoj. So this is the,
JTET test notification.
so these are the TET rules, Manoj, for Jharkhand.
Yes,
Your Lordship just comes to page 31.
31.
This is the district wise, this is a schedule,
Hmm.
district wise list of tribal regional languages, which is listed. Manoj.
No,
That is there, where is the
that is fine.
syllabus?
What we are asking, Mr. Gopal Shankar Narayan and ma'am,
Yes.
Manaji, what we are asking is, schedule is in terms of the rules. So where is this description in the rule? That
That's,
how this appointment would be in that? You are specifying this district contained with this language and so, it's a
Yes.
different thing.
yes,
So where it is prescribed, number one,
yes,
for JTET curriculum, the
Yes.
person has to appear in this is regional languages. And those persons as per have a preference under the rules in so, and option is required for their appointment in this regard.
so page 28 of this same, just if you go a little way back,
48.
28. At 27, they give the pattern of the eligibility test. At 28, after the table ends, my lords, just see G. Sorry, not G. Not G. I.
Regional travel language mentioned. in
Mentioned
language
under
two.
language 2 and rule 7 will be as per schedule 1 of the rules. For appointment to the post of teacher, the candidate will have to take the examination in any one of the regional tribal languages allowed for the district applied. So in the schedule, they give for each district what those languages are.
District-
And then,
No, district applied, that means he'll be eligible only for that district.
Yes.
as per this, yes. ma'am.
So
No,
please
this is
clarify
only
this
JET.
situation.
Yes.
So it's not going to complete today.
Very well.
We are seeing.
Yes,
To clarify and relevant rules of that, people pointed rules.
right,
So this is a rule for appointment, rule says this month.
right.
So, and so far as curriculum,
Yes,
for that JTET is concerned,
yes.
alike, so what prescribes so? Please clear, make it clear to
We'll
them.
do that. We'll do
So
that.
it's not going to complete today, we have understand now.
Lord, the certificate mentions the language that he has studied specifically. The TET certificate issued to the candidates mention only what he has chosen and only he will be considered for that. We'll
That's
place
what
that.
we are in this case, we are considering the rule part.
Yes,
But for the rule part, we want some support of
We'll
factual background.
we'll give it.
we'll,
So
we'll,
we
we'll,
know this.
we'll-
We want
Yes,
to
madam.
know.
understood you.
Yes, yes, all that happened because of the shortest order, my lord, therefore nothing was considered therein.
Yes, all right.
In fact, my lord, your lordship will see.
Now you go on by your argument, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. But this, we are, my lord, 1,301 people who qualified in 2016 in the JTET, and we have been waiting since 2016, Lord. Your lordship will see that I showed that the rules in existence framed under 309 has considered this, Lord.
You passed out JTET in 2016. After passing out of JTET in 2016, this notification of the teachers' recruitment is of 2023.
Never came.
During this period, any other advertisement was issued?
No, we have been waiting.
There was no
Lord.
advertisement.
We have conducted protests and dharnas for selection.
Advertisement, 7 years, no.
There are so many,
For recruitment, no advertisement.
no recruitment there.
We'll
We
ask-
have been waiting
We'll
for
ask
so
the
long.
state council.
2016 onward, that is why, my lord.
Which is
We
why
are-
they also didn't conduct another Jtet.
No, we can't.
Because of unemployment, the school,
Yes,
colleges have
Shankar
not
Narayan.
been closed.
Don't add there anything, which is not a part of the, either counter
I'm
affidavit
saying
or
it
the.
would be
No,
It's a reasonable thing
No,
because
no,
you
no,
have,
reasonably, you
advertise-
don't add the lot list, right?
have lots of people
No,
doing
Mr.
exams and sitting.
No, no.
Next,
They have not closed the normal graduation, post-graduation or any other school colleges because employment is not there.
next is
Can't-
in the
can't say this.
advertisement. The advertisement specifies there is a deadline to the advertisement. The deadline for applying and also
That is-
acquiring qualification also.
Has to be
There is
there
a
on that.
deadline to the advertisement.
No,
Therefore,
for the purpose of,
applying for
you
this.
must have purchased this degree on or before so and so date.
Yes, my lord.
Please show that.
Yes, please come to 142
142.
is the qualification, but at 149.
149.
Yes, my lord. Minimum educational qualifications.
Yes, please. It will be mandatory for the candidate who have purchased the desired minimum qualification. Last date is the application of the commission.
Yes, that will be at 169 also. The reference date is the last date. Please come to the last date at 169, my lords.
Always the last date for filing application.
Yes, para
Unless otherwise-
at 169,
Para
para 15, 15.
169.
169, my lord.
Hmm.
For registration and entering information from 8/8/23 to midnight 7/9/23 to pay the examination fee, so on.
Not relevant, you tell us the.
No.
eligibility.
You know,
This always
what
there
I'm
on the
trying to
cut-off.
point out is that all the qualifications are to have been attained on that day. The Honorable High Court, while entertaining,
Always there in all cases.
That
but the
is-
High Court, while entertaining the writ petition, there was no stay or
Ma'am,
it. that-
Annaji, don't come argue. Please come to 149(1),
Yes.
last 3 lines.
Yes, my lord. Yes,
If
my lord.
any candidate does not possess the prescribed educational qualification by this date,
Exactly.
so you say read this much, why you are arguing here?
I'm obliged. Not will.
Considered ineligible
Fill
for
the-
the application form.
Yes, this is our,
Read this now,
yes,
that is required,
yes, my lord.
going here and there.
This is,
Because last cutoff date is there.
yes, yes, the cutoff date is there and this
So
is
the
the,
cutoff date shall be ineligible. Now
Yeah.
we are asking one thing.
yeah,
This is in the advertisement.
yes,
Something like this
Yes.
has been prescribed in the rules.
about this last date.
Ma'am, please, there are two different things. If rule prescribes something like a UPSC rules, on that date you must possess this much. You cannot deviate from that.
I'll just get it verified, but you know, what happens is each advertisement is special and the dates mentioned therein will be only relevant to that particular selection. So the dates cut off,
Not like that.
yes,
What we are saying, the rule must say that the persons must possess a qualification,
yes,
okay, on the last date of filling of the form.
yes, ma'am.
That would be fine.
Yes, ma'am.
We can understand the UPSC rules
Yes.
prescribe so,
Yes,
and then they cannot change any qualification of any type.
yes, ma'am. Just check 2, 3.
Is it something in the rules?
I'll just get it checked. I'll just come back to you on that.
Check it, madam. What is your next argument?
Yes. Now, again, Lord, I was submitting on this point that, Lord, the rules have been changed midway. None of this, I was just trying to submit.
So your argument was,
Yes.
I will brief you. Rules were like this. Under these rules, this is prescribed. They were not possessing a prescribed in the rules. So once they are challenging the advertisement, asking some benefit by filing a writ petition through an association, in that situation, they must have challenged the rules and asked the qualification in terms of provisions of this act,
Yes.
and accordingly the court may have allowed.
Yes,
So in the present case, nothing like that is
Yes.
followed. So that is your argument.
yes, Lord.
Anything else we have rightly understood?
Yes, Lord. Of course, Lord, and the advertisement also. So therefore, Lord, in the other limb of the argument, as a Jtet passed candidate from 2016 waiting eagerly for this selection, I had a legitimate expectation that I will be considered as per the existing rules. Of course, in service now, Lord, your lordship will point out, and I am aware that, you know, nobody has a vested right to be appointed or but Lord, I have a right to be considered. I have a right to be considered as per the existing rules and the advertisement, Lord. That right I have.
Here it is a case, the right to participate.
Yes, and to participate, Lord.
Participate in the test.
Yes, participate.
Right to participate in the test.
As
Not
per
more than that.
existing rules.
Not considered. Considered would come after you qualify that, then it will come.
That's what I'm seeking, Lord. Therefore, there is a legitimate expectation that I will be considered as per the existing rules and advertisement is my submission. So therefore, the rules, so there is, next, Lord, the rules now, the state after the judgment of the Honorable High Court have now tried to amend the rule, Lord. After the advertisement, after everything, they've now amended the rules in 23 to say that CTET can be considered as one of the eligibility conditions. That I'm bringing to your lordship's notice because we had filed an additional affidavit pointing out that this couldn't have been done at this juncture because of the judgment. So therefore, again, the rules of the game is being sought to be changed after the process had begun, which is impermissible in law.
The same argument would apply to you also.
Yes.
No.
No.
What argument you want to say for them?
Yes. That the rules.
The rules they have to challenge. So now the amendment you have to challenge.
We
Same
have
argument applies.
for this honorable court note. We have filed an additional application challenging that here because the matter is pending before your lordship.
No, we can't do anything here.
This is anyway.
Can't do anything on the basis of an application. We can't examine.
No,
this
my
because
my
it's not,
argument, this cannot apply to me in the present selection, to them in the present
You
selection.
can ask this much.
Yes,
You can ask this much.
yes, Yeah, that's
You
all
can
we are
ask
pointing
Raj.
out. That's what we are pointing out, my lord. So they cannot take that as an argument to consider CTET saying that I have now today amended the rules. That is what I am trying to say. Yes, my lord. And my lord, every state has been given power to.
Let us
give its-
understand one aspect of it.
Yes.
Advertisement was issued.
Yes.
They didn't purchase the qualification.
Yes.
Relaxation was not allowed to them.
Yes.
How they have filled up their forms?
High Court order. After the High Court.
This was before.
So
cutoff date?
after we
Yes,
want
after the cutoff date. Yes.
madam, we want the date is the chronology of the dates.
Yes.
Advertisement issued.
Yes. These are fixed, we have given.
Please clear. We are not interested in hurry in file deciding the cases because we
No.
know. So advertisement was issued.
Yes.
When it was challenged then,
Was,
what was the last date of filling of the form was?
okay, the writ petition was filed on
No,
18th
no,
of
last date.
last date, September.
Last date of filling of the form was
September.
Which date?
September 23,
Yes, my lord. 7th September.
7th. When the writ petition was filed,
This was filed. I don't know the date, any incorrect date will be modification is 13. Last date, yes. Sorry. 18th May 23.
18th.
Writ was filed.
What is the date of advertisement? August. It can't be filed in May. And that means it was filed before that.
Okay, advertisement is July 23 minutes. We don't know the exact date because it doesn't mention the date.
Mentioned August only in this.
so you please.
Because the writ doesn't
correct.
challenge, writ doesn't challenge the
Yeah,
advertisement.
nothing is challenged.
Writ as you saw, 3 prayers, they just want to be considered. They might have known whether the advertisement is coming or not.
It is prior to the advertisement.
Advertisement,
yes,
and they didn't amend it thereafter. They didn't amend it thereafter. They didn't amend it.
But as on the date of the advertisement, the rules were still applying.
So what is the date of the advertisement?
Yes, my lord.
Date of
The
advertisement
state
was
was able to say July 23 is what it says, my lord. The date is not there, my lord, actually.
July or August? We have August.
It doesn't say actually.
Advertisement doesn't give any month, my lords. It's either July or August, and my dates have put August. Miss Mona is saying July. State will give you the date.
now.
State can give.
State
the
can give you the date.
Advertisement always has a date on that.
It-
When
date.
it was
But,
published.
unfortunately, it doesn't mention.
Then they should start giving. I'm being instructed to say Jharkhand mein nahi dete. I don't think that can be.
Very peculiar.
You can say. At present, we can't say.
Bearing on this side.
So they'll be having a date for it.
They must have a date of it.
Date must be there or when it was published in the newspaper.
19th July, he's
19th.
telling.
19 July.
Because when it is published in the newspaper, basically.
And when you receive this notice of writ petition,
State received.
Counter was filed in less than a month.
June 25 is the counter.
May is the repetition date.
18th May and 20.
no, our thought process is
Counter says
you
22.
issued an advertisement after filing your counter affidavit.
Ah.
And after serving the notice.
Yes,
Notice was served to you
yes,
already.
yes, yes,
And thereafter you issued this advertisement.
yes.
Anyway, we will ask the questions whenever you will argue. You are for the state, Mr.
Yes, Mr. Mohan.
In the first matter, I am assisting your lordship for
For
the,
state.
yes.
And you are for
For the state in the second matter.
second matter. All right. The double engine. You are
Double barrel gun.
candidates,
Ctet and the.
triple engine. All right.
Not out of the two petitions.
Yes, ma'am, now this argument is over.
Yes, yes.
Now what is next argument?
Just one more point. Just in the beginning also I mentioned, this was not a PIL, number one. This was a personal litigation only. It can't be mentioned or treated as a PIL, Lord, because they were interested candidates who wanted to participate. They were,
For the petitioners.
sorry, my lord, yes,
For the petitioner, association or some petitioner.
association and one individual, my lord. Today, interestingly, the individual who filed the writ also filed a counter here, has already got an employment in the KV based on his CTET and he's joined there. The candidate who has filed a counter here and who was a petitioner there in the,
CTT, Utteran Abhiyar.
who have an edge, my lord, because, sorry, my lord,
Petitioner number name I am.
yes,
Yarkhandi, CTT, Utteran Abhiyarthi
yes,
son.
yes. It's an unregistered association and we do not know how many people are there, what is their qualification when they acquired it.
Right,
None of
they are
it is
not
available.
getting any employment on that.
I'm just saying that, my lord, that it
Like
was never treated as
another
public.
aspect which we are asking you,
Yes,
then suppose, then in this case, some interim orders were passed by the High Court.
no, that's what I was coming to, my lord. There was no interim order,
So then how they have applied,
not only based after the writ petition, my lord.
allowing? What is the date of that impugned judgment?
Impugned judgment is
20.
20/12/23.
Last date was expired.
Yes, in September 7th,
But
on September.
there are other writ petitions also.
No,
Yes,
Where-
just see page 1.
they were all over on that day.
No. There were other writ petitions also before the High Court. It's not one only.
That your lordships are
What
saying
was
for
there
my
in that?
petitioner.
Yes, so what was in that?
He is what they say, my lord.
But
But
what was
we
the
can't say, we can't understand this like this.
prayer?
Because this is by association,
Yes,
CTET, whatever it is. Now, anyway,
Yes.
let us understand
yes,
that the judgment was passed on 2023.
yes. There was no extension of time or anything by the High Court.
There are number of the writ petitions filed, number of the persons were there.
That's my point.
Maybe they are.
Yes.
But what is the relief in that?
Can't see.
You please
Kind-
clarify this by tomorrow.
Yes, 1 second, Lord.
We have to ask another thing.
One,
Whether in any of the case, please note down,
yes.
in any of the case, any order was passed that they be permitted to fill up their forms.
In between. No, my lords.
They were not permitted by the High Court to.
Extension of date. Nothing
Then-
was permitted.
Just after this judgment,
Yes,
prior to that, last date was September
yes,
23.
yes.
Then after this judgment, any corrigendum was issued to fill up,
On 10th of January 24,
which is not mentioned in this list of dates now.
I've got it in my.
In this.
dates.
No, it's not.
Sorry, I've got it. Not put
This
that-
must be complete, Mr. Gopal.
Subsequent events are not put. I should.
You have to put everything, na,
I'll
here.
update.
Lord, can I give
Nothing
mine so that?
subsequent, it is all before the date of hearing.
No, that is correct. I'll revise it and give it to you tomorrow.
Lord, it's here. Or I can give the dates.
So
Give
you
the
have
date.
to.
20th December is the judgment.
So then January, judgment was issued.
It's there on record, my lord, in the additional documents at page 267. Additional documents, page 267. There is a notification dated 10th of January 2020,
Just a minute.
267. All the cases are mentioned there.
Before the judgment.
Lordships got it, not 267.
267 of SLP.
Lord, the additional documents which you were seeing, the advertisement, etc.
Extending the date.
Yes, my lord. In compliance on the judgment of so-and-so passed by the Honorable Jharkhand High Court in a petition so-and-so by the CTET passed candidates association, Surat Bihari so-and-so. In these cases, the local residents of Jharkhand state who have passed CTET or TET from the neighboring state and who are willing to appear in the Jharkhand primary school trained assistant teacher joint competitive examination 23 online applications for the above examinations are invited. for inviting applications from the above mentioned type of persons is being activated soon on the website of the commission. Also, in the light of the above order, rescheduling of the examination schedule of Jharkhand Elementary School Trained Assistant Teacher Joint Competitive Examination 23 to be held from.
What was the last date extended? There is no date finally given.
This is all. This is all. We don't know further any notification. It's not on record.
Any comments from Mr. Gopal Shankar Narayan?
Gopal, was it further extended? He's asking. We are not aware.
This is also the practice that no last date is given.
No,
We
no,
have
The exam was held down.
What is only the exam scheduled? What is the
exam,
cutoff date now?
exam was held on a series of dates through,
We have only asked that what is the last date after extension to submit application? Is there that in or?
Not kindly see 269, 270.
10th February.
269, 270. Please see, Milord. Kindly see over the page, Milord, at 270. That is only for the disabled candidates. That's all. Attached prescribed form to the commission. Application submitted after the period will not be considered by the commission. And the concerned candidate.
Disabled.
Yes, that's all. So therefore, we assume that it has to be before this date for everybody.
Where is the date of last date of submission?
This is what.
Not there.
Given, no, Milord.
It is only invited.
Yes,
Everyone invited.
Yes, Milord.
Open.
The
Open
date is announced by the.
Come with a certificate and the examination center, all right.
Find it in 270 of additional documents.
270?
270 is from
Disabled
disabled candidates.
I just pointed out.
There are three,
There
269.
is disabled category candidates submitted valid online
Yes,
applications.
I just pointed out that. Then we not that rules get amended.
Nothing.
No. Even this doesn't relax. Then there comes the rule next, 29th of January 24.
Application attest prescribed from commission from itne application submitted after said period
Yes,
considered by the commission concerned candidate will have to be present
yes.
for the convenience. So it is not for both examination. No? This is only various centers located in these states.
Differently abled category. Because page 267 is only showing that the date of test is now
Fixed
pre-postponed.
now, yes. And others.
It's not for extension of time for submission of
No, it
application.
doesn't say so in that language. Not all it says is you also apply now. If your lordship may see, online applications are invited, it says. For inviting, we are opening the website, is what it says.
Please give this all clarity with
Right.
the
Right.
dates.
We have we also have, yes.
They do it in clear. Then what is your next argument, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Your lordship will see this, the last point, I'll show it and close it. Not the rules have been amended. That portion would your lordship like,
Here is that
it's filed along with the counter.
counter by the central,
State.
page number 60.
29th January.
Yes, my lord.
They have amended.
Yes. In exercise of power so and so, governor of so and so, amendment. The rules 22. Amendment rules 23 as amended and following amendments are made in the rules of 23 constituted for appointment, promotion.
But this is prior to the last date of that candidate's
No,
advertisement was.
no, my lord.
This rules amendment,
This is
29 January. In that case, 30th January. We have to understand this relevance, huh?
The rules shall be.
Cut off
Second.
And
Kindly see, my lords, kindly come to see. Commencement, short name, extent and commencement.
page number
The rules are, that's the same page 60 itself.
60 years.
These rules are called as, shall be called as Jharkhand Primary School Sahayak so and so, my lord. 24, its extension so and so. These rules shall be effective from the date of issuance of notification.
That's all right. The cutoff date now for submission of application is after this.
10-2. 10-2.
So whether these will be applicable or not.
In our submission, it will not be.
No, your submission may be, but it must be supported by law, no?
Yes, my lord.
Because this is prior to that cutoff date.
No, cutoff date extension itself is questionable only because of the judgment, because we are challenging the judgment itself, whether it is applicable or not for them. Secondly, that they cannot change the rules once the process itself has started. So therefore, whether they could withstand that is another question.
Now, where is that provision regarding this in this amended rules?
Yes, 60,
Where we have to see?
63,
Page 63.
rule 6.
Assistant teacher appointment and so qualified teacher,
Rule six.
Jtet conducted in present Jharkhand under the so and so qualified.
In addition, qualified teachers JTET, then in addition to the above, such residents of the state of Jharkhand who have qualified CTET conducted for class 1 to 5 under the guiding principles formulated by the NCT or qualified in the TET by the neighboring states of Jharkhand are included. There also it doesn't say in the appointment procedure on the post of assistant teacher, subject to this condition that it shall be mandatory for them to qualify JTET in the chance available within and before 3 years after the appointment.
As was the initial condition initially they had to buy.
In the judgment and para 7 also.
Not judgment, the rules also provided that. But when
That's
they said
initial,
change the rules.
yes. Yes. Rule 7 is for the next 6 to 8.
This advertisement is only for 1 to 5 or 6 to 8 also?
Both, my lord, primary and upper primary, both.
So you are only concerned with primary,
Both, my lord. Both.
primary and upper primary. So your petition is of primary.
Both are not mixed, in fact.
Mixed.
Both.
You are also
You have
mixed.
Both have both.
We have to see
It's-
both.
It's elementary education which has defined as class 1 to class 8. So it's split into 1 to 5 and 6 to 8 for the purpose of the qualification. But otherwise it's both, it's all of it.
Now, miss, what is next?
To stress by some pointing out some judgments about how it is relevant and important, why states have the power to fix their own JTET, why they are conducting it themselves. In fact, the recent one was Devesh Sharma judgment, my lord, in which they consider the importance of the elementary education and the primary education. How the teachers, in fact, my lord, the court said B.Ed also is not relevant today. It's only TET. Diploma and DLED is relevant.
Letter
Relevant,
tomorrow
very well.
and we'll take this,
Give you the dates also. Sorry about that.
Correct.
you revise it and give it revised.
Yes, my lord.
And give the compilation of the judgments also.
Very well.
Tomorrow, give them, return it back. Yes. This batch of how many cases are listed today?
Not only three.
Six. This batch of,
Two of Jharkhand. No.
hear you tomorrow.
Slightly different. I mean, I would detect, Bihar's case may be detect, slightly different.
Both are brother, sister. only.
They have challenged our rule.
Huh?
They have challenged the rule, man.
Consider that, why we should,
No, well, it's different. Anyway, not substantially.
consider.
If we
We have
say
not
if
heard.
we allow Jharkhand,
But we have not had it, yes, man. We have not had it.
Look away. The learned counsel for the petitioners are heard. For further arguments, this tomorrow. Registry is requested, eh? List this case tomorrow. If necessary. Kindly obtain order from Honorable the Chief Justice.
you have been granted permission.
Lordship's permission, my lord, item 35, my lord, I'm sorry, not present when it was called, my lord.
Today of noise cannot be possible.
No, I understand, my lord. Would it be convenient to have it on the Monday, Friday, my lord, or on Wednesday?
It will take time, Mr. Mehta. I've seen that case also.
I see,
I've seen that matter also.
very well.
Alright, there are so many documents filed by the respondents. They say this is a bundle of the documents filed, like this. So we have to look into. And it's a case,
Or Wednesday or Thursday, any Wednesday, Thursday, my lord.
we will take it in the next Tuesday, what we can do. That
No,
will
it is
Next
a
Tuesday is
miscellaneous
a
day.
miscellaneous day, my lord. Monday is a holiday.
14.
Oh,
we will-
That-
We will take then 24.
I was only requesting
24, we will take on 24.
24th, I have difficulty, my lord.
Then we take on first,
Wednesday is not possible, my lord. Any Wednesday.
Wednesday not, Wednesday will not be listed. We know. Therefore, this case, because we have heard for a long time, so we requested to take order from Honorable the Chief Justice.
I see, I see. All right, my lord.
Yes.
Very well.
So we take on 24,
No, 1st October, you know.
for 1st October. All right, 1st October.
1st October.
Very good.
Right now, number 26 minutes in land acquisition.
So what is the urgency in that?
We are not got anything now.
Not getting, who is for the other side?
That is the
Who is for the other side?
Mr. Nanda.
Huh?
Mr. Nanda, PF is located.
So we take now this matter, then in October, we give a fixed date. We'll give you a fixed date on that.
Lordship, may I mention item number 16?
Item number
16, Lordship.
26 को कोई डेट दे दीजिए अक्टूबर में 22nd of October.
Lordships,
Take in November better. 12 November. 12 November.
Lord,
12.
Lordships,
Lord, may I mention? item
Lordships, Siddharth Luther.
That back wages matter. My learned friend is here, which your lordship has
Yes,
asked
please.
for.
What happened in that?
Arun,